In July 1985, a movie about a time-traveling teenager hit America and was a phenomenal success. It then went worldwide and in no time became one of the most beloved comedies of all time. It was called Spaceman from Pluto, I mean Back to the Future. Now when I say it became a beloved favourite, it certainly did, especially for me. Over the next few months, we're going to be looking back at Back to the Future and what the series means to me. How big of a fan am I? Well, I own several DVD box sets. I own the 25th anniversary Blu-ray trilogy, including Back to the Future The Ride and Secrets of Back to the Future. I own the animated series on DVD. I own the slightly tamer novels. I own the Telltale video game for both PC and PlayStation 4. I even own a documentary on John DeLorean which features clips from Back to the Future, and I have my own personal collection of miniature scale DeLorean models. Several of them, in fact. They haven't aged super well. Now, if someone should ask, long-haired dude, which version of Back to the Future should I buy? I'm thinking about investing. I would respond by saying, hey you, how did you get in my house? And after getting some answers, I'd recommend picking up the 4-disc Ultimate Edition or the 25th Anniversary Blu-ray. Between decent film quality and bonus features, I believe these releases offer the most. And since this is video memories, there's only one way to recount my childhood with Back to the Future. With the video release from 2002, because that box set was my first proper experience with the series. Duh! I say proper because I had briefly seen parts 2 and 3 on TV beforehand, and I can only assume this led to the videos. So in a very ironic twist, the first movie is the one I saw last. So let's look at part 1 first. So up first we have a home video promo for the iconic Steven Spielberg movie E.T. the Extraterrestrial. And guess what people, I haven't seen it. The video memories tradition continues. I know of E.T. He Needs to Phone Home. I also know of that beloved Atari game from 1982. But nope, I have never actually watched the movie. And now to our feature presentation. Back to the Future stars Michael J. Fox as 17-year-old musician Marty McFly. After failing a high school band audition and receiving some stupid piece of paper about some stupid broken clock, he has come to the belief that his life is pretty much a failure and confesses to his girlfriend Jennifer that he shouldn't even bother trying anymore. That night, he receives a phone call from his close friend Dr. Emmett Brown, the local crackpot scientist who needs the kids' help with a late-night experiment. Marty joins the old man at the local mall and witnesses him kill his dog in a souped-up DeLorean. But plot twist, the dog is fine, and the DeLorean is a time machine.
The way I see it, if you're gonna build a time machine into a car, why not do it with some style?
After learning how the car works, a group of Libyan terrorists Doc Brown previously screwed over arrive on the scene and kill the doctor. Holy shit, that's violent! Innocent kids could be watching, you know. Martin escapes into the dangerous time machine and suddenly finds himself in 1955. After hiding the car and venturing into town, he discovers his loser father and some douchebag named Biff Tannen. It is truly a case of same shit, different year. The dork with a life preserver stalks his father to a residential area and prevents him from being trampled by an approaching car.
Stella! Another one of these damn kids jumped in front of my car!
Marty wakes up to find himself inside his mother's house. Super awkward, but I'm pretty sure nothing big will come of this. The kid heads across town and finds the 1955 version of Doc Brown and convinces him that a time machine exists, and eventually realizes that said time machine has caused him to endanger his own existence by preventing the initial meeting of his parents. It also turns out the time machine is out of plutonium, the necessary chemical required to power time travel. But they do have knowledge that a lightning bolt is due to strike an iconic building in Hill Valley, and it just so happens that a lightning bolt harnesses enough electricity to power this Y-shaped thing in the car that makes time travel possible. Convenient. So there's the gist of the movie. Marty has 6 days to get his parents back together before this lightning bolt strikes. Well, that shouldn't be too hard to fix.
Are you trying to tell me that my mother has got the hots for me?
Oh bollocks, I knew there'd be a catch. There is always a catch. Then again, in a way, without a catch there is no plot, and that would result in extreme boredom. or extreme stupidity like the Jackass series. Over the next few days, Marty invents the skateboard, invents Darth Vader, covers Biff's car in horse shit, and plays some very expensive Chuck Berry music before being able to bring his parents together and giving them the strength to live happily ever after. But before he can go home, he has to slip the old scientist a note for the future. Just a slight warning for the dangers ahead, and motherfucker, he rips it up! Well, that's it, he's doomed. After a very iconic climax, Marty returns to 1985 and races to the mall where he witnesses Doc Brown get murdered again by the Libyans. But this time, the old man was wearing a bulletproof vest. As it turns out, he kept the warning letter. That always caught me off guard when I was younger. In the clock tower sequence, I never actually saw him stick the remains of the note in his pocket. Marty returns home and discovers the next day that his family has changed for the better after his actions in 1955. His mother is no longer a raging alcoholic, his brother and sister aren't losers, and his father is no longer Biff's punching bag. And what's better, he has his own shiny pickup truck. Pure luxury and happiness. Until Doc Brown returns and tells of the bad news of Marty's and Jennifer's children. What bad news? What bad news?! Well, we shall find out in the future, you could say. And that's Back to the Future, one of the most iconic movies of all time and one of my all-time favourites. I generally go back to the trilogy at least twice a year, and it's always a great ride. Well, that's about it. Oh, wait, there's a anti-piracy warning at the end for some reason.
The pirates are out to get you.
What the hell?
Don't let them brand you with their mark. Piracy funds organised crime and will destroy our film and video industry.
Jesus Christ, in a chicken basket, that's dark. That will in no way traumatize a kid. I tell you, we've come a long way since this.
We want you to enjoy this video as much as possible. Unfortunately, there are many poor quality illegal videocassettes now available to buy or rent from sources other than reputable retailers.
Right, on that note, I need to go soothe my childlike brain from that horrifying piracy warning. Next time, we'll be looking at another popular film series, and in November, we will continue the Back to the Future retrospective with movie number 2. The next month is gonna be magic. Well, with this movie, that's pretty debatable.